welcome to Jedi Jingle Maker. This is my YouTube channel where I release all of my original music, and I also do gear reviews, guitar reviews. And in this video I wanted to show you two Telecaster style guitars that I purchased from Firefly that are both great. I'll go through their similarities, their differences, and my experience with both briefly in case you might be interested in looking into one of these things. They ran about 200 bucks when I got them, and I feel like it was a good investment. I've done some upgrades, we'll talk about that. But before we go on, if you could subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment on the video, it will really help me out a lot. I appreciate it. Let me know you're out there and you like these types of videos, or maybe you have a FFTL, Firefly FFTL guitar, and you could give your experience, good, bad, or otherwise, so that people can be informed. Okay, now these are both very similar guitars. I'm going to turn both of them over here as the video goes on, but in most ways the body cuts, the weight, the neck, all very similar. I found them both to be tightly put together. Nothing was loose or out of tolerance. They both played reasonably well out of the box. This one I was able to get close to perfect intonation straight out of the box. Still went ahead and upgraded them to some compensated saddles. I don't think it did anything. I've been recommended now to get the Gotoh saddles, compensated saddles. Those seem to be the ones everybody thinks are the best. I don't have them though yet, but I will for my next FFTL, which I definitely will be buying, by the way, when one comes out that has the Telecaster headstock. I really like the Telecaster style headstock. I know it's a classic and it just appeals to me for whatever reason. Both of these guitars come with the same Alnico, as advertised, at least Alnico single coil pickups in both spots. I found the tone to be very different between the two for whatever reason. I found the tone in this one to be really kind of dead, and it might have been bad solders or whatever, but I wanted to experiment around. I got another pair of inexpensive pickups off of Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description. Went with the gold. It was silver before. Gold pickup in that position. I'm going to tell you about some of the other modifications I did here in just a moment, but installed, soldered in a new set of pickups. I also shielded the cavities on both of these guitars, which is a fairly easy project to do. I'll leave a link at the end of the video to a video where I do that to a Stratocaster style guitar, so stay tuned for that. The pickups now sound very dynamic, very good, very bright. I like them. They're adequate, even though they're very inexpensive. This guitar, I really like the pickups, the sound of the pickups. Those are the original stock pickups, and they seem to work very well. They have a decent high end to them, but not too thin. They have some dynamic capability. I actually played this one in a recent live demo I did. I'm putting together my streaming capability, by the way. Stay tuned for that. Turn on notifications to see when those come out. I'm going to start streaming live, doing some performances with some of these guitars that are on the wall and all throughout. Both of these guitars have been very good experiences. A little bit of fret buzz, whatever, that I could easily adjust with the spoke wheel adjustment at the heel. That is so killer. I love that in guitars. It makes it so easy. You just stick in a little metal bar and turn it to give it relief or add some, and it makes it very easy to update the neck. When I turn it over, I'll show you the back of the necks. Ashtray style bridge on both models, pretty much identical. The controls pretty much identical. On this one I had a bad solder. It didn't work, and I went and resoldered the connections with good hot solder connection, and then it worked. So that was an interesting step in the rewiring of this one, but I would expect stuff like that in a $200 guitar. Certainly all part of the adventure for me. On this one I just shielded it. That was it, and it seemed to work. Like the electronics were basically good in this one, and I've used it in recordings. Like I said, it's interesting enough sound that it's kind of grown on me. Both are very easy to play, very playable necks. It has I believe a 10 to 14 radius in the neck, which is very playable even for chords, and then up for solos at the top is what that does for you apparently. Now both of these have the squared off bodies. As you can see, there's no contour, which I think is perfectly fine. And you can see on the back, as we turn these over, we'll highlight one of the best things about these guitars, I think, one of the coolest things, and that is that they both have flamed maple necks. And the flaming is actually pretty proficient, believe it or not. And as you change the, I'll take the, you see that? Look at that. The flaming changes with the angle of the camera. It's really interesting. I'll go back again. Look at that. Wow, that's neat. So pretty cool flaming, I would say. Whatever it is, it's awesome. I would definitely get another one of these. Both of them have that patented cut in that all the Firefly guitars seem to have at the upper axis. I do think that this lets you get up higher. I think it actually does help, but you know, it would be better if this was, you know, carved in and didn't have the back plate, in my opinion. But this keeps it classic style and perfectly fine by me. You can see both are drilled through ferrules. That's a very good thing, I think, in terms of resonance on an instrument. You can see that it has no contours on the back, just squared off. Very comfortable though. The edges are all nice and rounded over. The finish on both of these guitars, I think, is excellent. Really, really excellent. You can see it's just a beautiful, beautiful neck. And you can see one of the other upgrades I made here, and that is to these awesome Hipshot open gear tuners. I'm trying to get underneath so you can see what it looks like. And these have an 18:1 ratio, which is pretty decent. I like it better than the 16:1. Some of the Gotohs I've got, I have a 16:1. And I found them to be great tuners. I'll put a link in the description in case you want to check them out. I've got them on several of my guitars now. It's probably going to be my go-to tuner. And one other minor point was that when this one arrived, it had slightly loose input. So I just tightened it up with a small wrench. That was very easy to do, but you might encounter that, you know, in shipping. It rattles loose or whatever. You can see the tight neck tolerances on this too. We'll take a look at that as we flip the other one over. So one thing I had to do on this guitar, which I was surprised about, was to actually replace or redo this hole. The screw was pulling out, so this plate was lifting off, and it was just basically stripped a hole in there for whatever reason. So I took this whole component out and I put several toothpicks in there with crazy glue. Then I razor bladed off the end of the toothpicks, and then I screwed into that wood, and it's nice and tight now. That's a good little guitar hack. However, in the process, I got crazy glue all around the edge here by mistake. So then I had to go with polishing compound and polish this whole area to get it back to a polish. And I think I got it back to a polish pretty much. You might notice that at some point I'm like, you know what, it just gives it character, but pretty hard to see where that happened. But I did spill it all around the edge. So that was a repair. I haven't replaced these saddles on this one. I just kept them. I think they're brass. I think they work really well. I'll probably just keep them. No need to change really anything on this guitar other than the shielding that I did in the cavity. So Firefly guitars continue to impress me with certain guitars that I've ordered. Very inexpensive project guitars, if you look at them the way I do. They play very well. This one has actually gone on 2 trips with me in an airplane, and it performed quite well. It's a good one to have on the road. Yeah, what beautiful guitars, really, for the money. I don't work for Firefly. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying you should go buy one. I'm just sharing my experience with them. But I think with a few simple upgrades, I don't know how much I put into each one of these, maybe $100 each, because I got the good tuners that I wanted. But That's not a lot of money to spend to have like basically 200-300 guitars that are both actually are tonally different, but are reliable workhorses in the arsenal. Fixed bridge, so holds tune very well. One other thing that I did with these guitars, which I'll show you, is I added the graphite nut on both of them. Single Graphtech graphite nut. I'll put a link in the description. And I took out the second one. They had these bent metal string trees, which I don't like, and I think affect the tuning. So anyway, I just replaced them with these, like the Nick Johnston style. And this is a Schecter Nick Johnston Strat style guitar, beauty guitar. Check out the channel for a deep review of this one, but you can see it just has the one string tree, and the reason that is because these are staggered tuners, and that's a good thing, so use it. So thank you for watching Jedi Jingle Maker. I hope you will come back and check out more guitar videos. Hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and also leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these cool guitars. Thanks for watching Jedi Jingle Maker.